Hi friends! Today we are going to talk about a very special story. It's about a boy named Marco who learns that every small act of kindness can make a big difference. So while listening to Marco's story, let's think about the little ways we can show kindness every day. Are you ready? Let's begin! So this is our book. It's called Together, Even Apart. This is Marco. Say hi, Marco! Hi, Marco!
Every morning, Marco likes to look out his bedroom window to watch the people. To him, it was like watching ants carrying around invisible missions. But he is confused about something. Why are people ignoring each other? Isn't that sad and lonely? So one day, he asked his Lola, "Lola, why do people ignore each other?" She smiled softly and said, "Because it's easy to forget about others." But he became more confused. But isn't noticing people easier? His Lola laughed as she said, "You would think so, wouldn't you?" At that, Marco said determinedly, "Then I'll help them remember." The next day at school, the teacher introduced a new classmate. After a while, Marco thought she looked nervous and lonely. So he was determined to help her make friends. So during a snack break, he invited the new girl, Carla, to sit with him and his friends. They all introduced themselves and spent the time eating and talking. Carla was quiet at first, but later laughed along with some of their jokes and told some stories of her own. Marco was glad. A few months later, everyone started to get sick. This meant they all had to stay at home. Now, when he looks outside his window every morning, everyone looked farther and lonelier than ever. Later that evening, Marco asked his Lola, "Why does everything feel different now?" Lola stroked his hair and said gently, "Sometimes the world changes slowly." He looked at her concerned as she continues, "But it does not mean that people have stopped caring. The world is made up of good things." Lola was right. People still care. Thinks Marco as he sees people help each other outside the window of the kitchen.
Time passes and Marco realizes that a small act of kindness can break walls. With a smile, a greeting, the world changes for the better. Marco realizes that Lola was right. The world is made of all little good things. The end. So you see, kids, in Marco's Small Acts of Kindness, we see the heart of Fratelli Tutti. It is a book written by Pope Francis, and it teaches us that we are all one big family, even if we are far apart. It talks about problems like selfishness, loneliness, and people forgetting to care for each other, especially during the pandemic when people stayed at home and felt alone. These problems made many people in the world feel sad, scared, and disconnected from others. Some lost hope because they could not spend time with their family and friends. That's why the church helped by reminding everyone to continue showing love and kindness even in small ways, like helping a neighbor, checking on friends, sharing food, or simply smiling can make someone feel cared for. Just like Marco saw people helping each other outside the window, Fratelli Tutti teaches everyone that small acts of goodness can bring hope and happiness. In the end, it reminds us that even during hard times, we are still brothers and sisters who should love and care for one another. So did you learn something, kids? That's great! I hope you would be like Marco one day. Yes? Okay. So that is all for our storytelling, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye!